Hi everyone, welcome back to Creating with Wendy. I had been asked about a week ago if I could do a tutorial or just show you how I made this little lapbook. I'd done this about 6 months ago, I think. This was for a project for Auntie Vera's Scrap and Craft. And it was using the Tim Holtz Ideology Dapper papers. Okay, now when I was asked, I thought, oh, I haven't got any of that paper left, but look, looky look, I have got quite a bit of that paper left. And the reason I think I was asked by Rosemary, thank you Rosemary, was because she has the same type of paper, the Dapper Tim Holtz paper that I made this little lapbook out of. Now the only thing different is, there's a couple of things different. The base of the covers, I used recycled boxes, like you know, like little biscuit boxes and things like that. I haven't got any of that. I haven't got any recycled boxes whatsoever. I used my last rice bubble box up the other day. And also this lapbook has been covered with calico on the outside as well as the inside, and I don't have any calico. I have a strip about this long by about that high and it won't fit. But what I do have some other scrap fabric here, and I thought, well, I haven't used this yet. I picked up this great big piece for $3 at our op shop just across the road, so I thought, well, I can substitute my calico for this, and I should actually have enough of these Tim Holtz papers to work with, because I've still got quite a few here that I didn't realise that I had. Okay, so I think I can work. Oh, that, look, see that there, that would be cool for the cover, wouldn't it? And I've got 2 of those, so that will be good. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So, and instead of using the boxes, I'm actually going to make the base from a manila folder. I'm going to try, guys. Okay, I'm back, guys. Last night I did go through and just put down a few measurements of this lapbook. So the actual size is 5.5 by 5.5. It's a nice little square one, which is 14 centimetres by 14 centimetres. Then this outside spine here is 1.5 inches. Then we have 2 what I call inside spines. The first one is, or this one here is 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch, and this one is actually 1/2 inch. Okay, and then this inside flat panel here, I didn't think that was that's the back inside flat panel. That is 3 3/4. Then this panel here is the 5.5, and this one here is the 4 1/4. Alright, so when it opens up, it is actually quite long. It is roughly it's roughly 55 centimetres, which my mat says centimetres, but I'm not sure how many inches that is. Let me just measure that for you. So that's about 12, it's about 22 inches in width when it's all folded out. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to do the base first, and I've just got a manila folder, So even when I have my manila folder out this way, that's only going to be, say, 12, that's only 18 inches wide. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just keep it folded and actually cut the height. Okay, so I'm going to cut the height. The height's going to be this way. Okay, so I'm going to cut that at 5.5 inches, which is roughly about 14 centimeters. Okay, that's going to be the height of the lapbook. And then I'm also going to cut another piece at 5.5 because I can join these two together. Okay, right, so we've got two at 5.5. And then I can actually like add this one on there, alright? But what I'm going to do, what we do first, I'm going to grab my scoreboard and just score each of the panels and the spines as well. Okay, alright, that should be right. Okay, so the first flap, we're going to go from left to right with our scoring. Okay, and I am just going to check to make sure I have done my measurements right. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Alright, so the first score mark is for the first inside flap, which is 4 1/4. Right, so we'll score that there, and just that's the inside flap, 4 1/4 inches, which is 11 centimeters, if you want to know in centimeters. Okay, and then we have the 3/4 inch spine. We want to put in our first spine, which is 3/4 inch, so we're going to score it at 5. And then our next panel is going to be, I'm just checking guys, this one here, which is 5.5. So we need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 and score that just there. Okay, so this is the spine, 3/4 inch spine. This is 5.5 inches panel. I'm just checking. So that goes all the way up to there. Okay, so the next thing is a larger spine, which is 1.5 inches, which is this one down here. Okay, so I'm going to fold that last one so I know where I'm up to, which is right there, and I may as well fold these ones too. So I'm still going to work on this until I run out of space, and then I can join another piece on. Okay, so we've just put that 5.5 inch panel in there. So what I'm going to do is just with my last score and where I folded it, just put that right up to the edge up there and hold it. And now we need 1.5 inch spine. So we're going to score down at 1.5 inches, not an inch and a half. Okay, so that is 1.5 inch spine. And then after that we have got another panel at, make sure that doesn't come out. We've got another panel at 5.5. I've just marked my 1.5 inch spine there. So what I'm going to do is just move that score line over to the 2 and count out another 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5, which is right there. Okay, and I'll just fold that down. So from there to there is 5.5 panel. Okay, so that is like the start. That is like the start of the book, the lap book, the cover, the start of the cover. Okay, so after the cover here, we have got a 1/2 inch spine, and then we have another little panel here, which should be 3 3/4. Yes. Or roughly 3 3/4, yes, 3 3/4. Okay, so I'm not going to, where my 5.5 inch panel finishes here, I'm going to leave that bit of flap there because that's going to be my joining flap. So what I might do, I might actually just join that onto there now, and then I'll just keep going. Okay, so I'll just use some double-sided tape, I think, because I really just need it just to hold. Okay. It's been a while since I've done this. Alright, so I'm just going to add just the other piece onto here. I'm just going to stay away from that fold there so I don't interfere with it folding. Okay, so I've added that piece onto there. Okay, so where I done my last fold for this 5.5 inch panel, I am going to just put that straight up there as best I can and grab that. Now I need, what did I say, 1/2 inch, so that's going to go there. I'm going to score down here, and that might be a little bit tricky because you're actually scoring it on that double. Okay, so let me just get into folding that. Okay, so that's my half inch spine there. I will just write that down. That's 1/2 inch spine. So I didn't really need that much, did I? And from my 1/2 inch spine, I'm just going to put that up to my number 2, and from my 1/2 inch spine I'm just going to go across 3 3/4. So 1, 2, 3 3/4, and that is actually going to be cut right there. So I can do that now, and I'll just do it with my scissors. If I can see the line, the score line. Yep. Okay. And that is, make sure that's straight. Yep. Just going to press that one down there. Okay, so that's the cover. Look, I'm just going to run this through again for you. Okay, so the first one gets scored at 4 1/4. I might actually write these down as I go, because then I can put them down in the description for you. So first score is 4 1/4, then 5, and I'm going on inches, okay? And then we come across here to 10 1/2, 10 1/2, and then we go down at 12. Oh, I wrote 13, 12. Okay, and then you bring that mark up to the start again after you've scored it at 12 on this, and push that right up there, and then come across to 4 1/2. Oh no, sorry, 5 1/2. Come across to 5 1/2, and then 6 inches. Alright, and there it is. Now with your manila folder there are pre-existing score marks, so you don't really have to worry about that, but if you followed those okay, that's what this will look like when you put it up there. You've got your 1 1/2 inch spine, your 3/4 of an inch spine, your 1/2 inch spine, and you've got your little flappy panels inside. Okay, so that's more or less the base for the Lapbook. Now what I did on the inside of this, I covered, because I like to use some kind of fabric, and it's normally calico because calico is the cheapest fabric. So I covered all of this in fabric, but before I done that I grabbed out a couple of thin pieces of cardboard or chipboard, just so I want to reinforce just the spines. So I've got 3 spines. I've got the 1/2 inch, the 1 1/2, and the 3/4 of an inch, and I've got just some offcuts of chipboard or cardboard, and the height of them will be 5 1/2 inches, so I shall cut this here at 5 1/2. You can, if you can use recycled cardboard from box packaging as well. I don't have any, so that's why I'm using this. So the first spine is 3/4 of an inch, so I'm actually, my 3/4 of an inch is just about there. So I'm going to go just like 1 or 2 notches below 3/4 of an inch. So maybe about there. You just want it like 1/8 of an inch shorter, or in 1/8 of an inch smaller in the width, just so that it can sit in there, but it won't have any, it won't be near, it won't obstruct the folds. See, I've done that one just a little bit too, cut a fraction off that again, because I cut it at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so that one's going to fit in there nicely, and you can see where I've folded it up there, and folded it there, it's not going to interfere with those score lines. So this one is actually like 1/8 of an inch shorter than 3/4 of an inch. So if you're good at maths, good luck to you working that out. I'm sorry guys, I'm not that best with fractions. Okay, so the next one is the spine for 1.5. Just make sure that's my length. Yep, that's 5.5 for the length. So 1.5 inches, and I'm just going to come down about 1/8 of an inch smaller, so that will just fit in that spot nicely. Okay, so let me just check. Yep, that's going to be good there. And then the last one is 1/2 inch, which is just there. So I'm going to come down 1/8 of an inch smaller than that. Okay. Alright, so that is okay, and that little spine is going to fit just in there nicely. Okay, now we will glue our spines in. I'm going to use this one. Now you can use double-sided tape if you want to put your spines in, but I'm just going to use this glue because I don't mind letting mine sit to dry. So I just put a good amount of glue on this, and that one's going to go in there, there. So that's going to fit, that fits nicely in that one. And this is the 1.5 inch for the 1.5 inch spine, and I've just cut it 1/8 of an inch smaller in width. So that one is going to go in here, and just fold that like that, and that one there comes up nicely too. Okay, now the last one, and like, don't worry about it being really, the cover being flimsy, because by the time you put your material on it and then your decorative panels, it really does become quite firm. Alright, so this is the last little spine. That's the 1/2 inch one that I've cut down 1/8 of an inch shorter than that. So when folded up, we've got all our nice little spines in there, and that's just to strengthen up the spine. So okay, now is the time to get your calico or just your scrap fabric, whatever you want to use, and just place it over. I'm going to have to cut this down a bit, I think. Let me see. Alright, I'm going to do some quick, I might go this way here, some quick cutting. So on the inside, I do on the inside of mine, I butt my fabric right up to the edge. Okay, but I'm just gonna do a quick cut some off because I can't work with all this length of the fabric sitting on my lap. Alright, so I've just cut a piece of my fabric off there. Now this is for the inside. I don't even know which is the right way. That's the right way. And all I'm going to do with that is just glue it straight down onto my cover. Okay, so I kind of like just butt that up to the edge. Right. You can use your double-sided tape with fabric, or you can just use your wet glue. You open it up first to use it. So I'm just going to put some glue on here, and I don't get that fussy, but I do like to have a bit of the glue on, like going right to the edge, but the amount of glue that I've put on there now, I've kind of like compressed that out when I put the fabric down to it. Okay, and I do this in kind of like sections, so we'll bring that up there, and I'll go along the bottom here and make sure that it's just even, just covering the bottom a fraction, and we'll just press that down. And I should have some kind of, where's my, I'll just get this out just so that I don't put glue on my table. Okay. Right, so just give that a good press down like that. Okay, so that's going to, did I put glue? I didn't put glue over my spine. Sorry guys. Just let me, I'm going to rip that back up again. I need to put a bit more glue over that. Right. I think I did put a bit of glue on that spine, but I didn't on this next one here because I only went up to the side of it. Okay, now you will see that a little bit of my glue has come through the fabric, but by the time you put your decorative panels on, you really do not notice it, guys. You really don't. Okay, and then I'll just do the other half here now. And make sure I put some on the spine this time. And go to the edge. You can see I'm doing it rather roughly. Well, and just make sure that the bottom is just covered a little bit, and give that a pat down. So just to check that I've just got, you can just see here a little bit of the fabric coming over the edge of my manila folder. Okay, so might just give that a good press down. And what I do now is just leave that and let it dry on its own, but I'll just keep going, and any little overhang bits of fabric, this is where I will cut them off now, and I'm cutting it up right to the edge. Maybe just, it doesn't matter if you have just like a little bit peeking over, okay, and then I'll do it down here as well. And where this corner's rounded there, I just cut the fabric as if it's square, because I don't think I worried about any rounding any corners on this one. Okay. You can cut so that you can just see a little bit of the fabric if you want to. With the calico, I cut it straight to the edge, and then when I put the calico on this side, I left a little bit here for like a fringe, okay? So it's cut flush on the inside of the lapbook, and then on the outside you can have like a little bit of a fringe going on. It's a little bit hard to angle this. I'm trying to stay in camera shot and not bring it towards me, but I'll get there. Okay. Alright, yay. Okie doke. So you can see a little bit of the glue coming through, but that's okay. That doesn't worry me, because it's more or less going to be covered. Alright, so that will go, that will be folded there, and then we have our spine there, and then this one will be folded like that, but I don't really want to do the folding yet until that dries. Okay, so I shall be back. Alright. And I think you can see down here on the 1/2 inch spine and also on the 3/4 inch spine, you can see the calico I've got there. And because it was like a light cream calico, I've actually inked around the edges and just down there a little bit, just to grunge that up a bit more. But I don't think I will need to do it with this fabric. The fabric's kind of like dark enough for me. Okay, so that side needs to dry. I'm back on, guys, to finish this off. So that side's nearly dry. Okay, so I'm going to get ready to cut another length of this. So I might just cut a piece off and just see how I go. Cut it to longer than what I actually need, I think. It doesn't rip, does it? I'll have a look. Oh, it does. It's going to rip straight though. Oh, I don't think so. Oh, please, please, please. Oh yes, look at that. Well done, Wendy. That was hard to rip though. Alright, so we're going to more or less do the same on this side, which is the outside, as what we done on the inside. Now I was thinking I might not get any like little threads from that, but I think I will if I clean my cards right. So when I go to put the fabric down on here now, I'm actually going to leave about maybe a 1/4 of an inch. I don't think that's a 1/4 of an inch, do you? 1/8 of an inch. Okay, 1/8 of an inch fabric overhang on this one. Okay, so I can see a little bit of that grungy stuff there. Alright, I'm going to do the same, just use my glue and put it on here. Alright, so let's just put this down, and I'm just going to pull it down so I can just see that there's just a little bit of an overhang, and I'm just going to check that. See, I want that a little bit longer, so I'm just going to pull it down just like that, so you can just see there's like another layer just there on that. And when I go to cut it up here, I'll cut it so that maybe I can pull a few threads out, where with the calico that is pretty easy to, you know, put a little fringe around it. Okay, and I'll move that up over there. Okay, right, now just keep going along here. If you have got, what's it called, Fabri-Tac or something like that, use that glue. I can't use that glue because of the smell, so that's why I'm just using this one. This is like an all-purpose glue anyway. Okay, so got a whack of glue on there now, and just going to lay that on there. So I'm just looking down here and I can see like how far overhang there is, so hopefully that will be enough. So I'll turn it over here. Oh yep, that looks pretty good, very good. Okay, now we should just let that dry for a bit, but I'm going to keep going. So when I cut, I'm going to cut about a 1/4 of an inch border. When I'm cutting the fabric off and leaving about a 1/4 of an inch, because hopefully I might be able to get a few threads going. And I shouldn't do this until it's completely dry anyway, but we'll just see. No, I'm going to wait until that's dry because I can feel that pulling up. Okay, so I'm going to go up this side here and just cut down and leave about a 1/4 of an inch. Okay. And I should have got my fabric scissors out, but you know, when you're crafting, you kind of like get in the zone, don't you? I don't use my fabric scissors as often as I should. Okay, so that's cut off. So this is the side that we just put on, and what I'm hoping to do is pull enough thread up there so that it looks a bit raggy like this one down here. Too much of it off, but just a bit, just to give it like a little grungy feeling, I suppose. But I'm not going to sit on here and do that on camera because boring, Wendy, boring. Okay, so that's mainly the base of our cover, and you can tell the inside from the outside because the inside you can feel the raised, reinforced spines. Okay, so you know it's going to then be folded this way, which I shouldn't fold yet, but I'm just going to show you quickly. Right. Okay, so it's going to be folded like that, and see, that's even feeling sturdier now as we go, as I just fold that. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. Yours might be a different colour because you're using calico, or you might be just, you know, using just another scrap fabric. But that's what it looks like, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go because it's time for me. It's my lunch day. It's my turn to go and get lunch. That happens lately. Okay, so I'm going to go and grab some lunch for hubby, and I will be back on. Otherwise I'm going to sit here and start plucking all that fringe. Okay, I shall be back, guys.